So right now we're sitting here at the beginning of a launch for a new bike,
Yes.
which we'll talk about in the next episode. But right now, I think it'd be really fun to talk about some of the past launches because they have been so epic.
Yeah.
And thus far, all
Hard
in
to live up
Iceland.
to.
We're in
Yeah.
Harrisonburg now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one lives up to the past experiences. But so of the three launches I've been to, or the two launches I've been to, and then I've also participated in your Rift. I think I got lucky in that our weather was okay.
Yeah.
Because the one I missed, which we'll talk about, was absolutely bonkers. But some of my recollections involved, sideways rain, sleet, sun,
it
snow,
was
rain, all in the same day.
So often like I say, like if someone claims to have ridden in worse weather, he's lying, because it's just literally not possible. Like the weather was that bad.
Yeah.
It was just like it was wild.
That was the one I missed, though.
Yeah, that was and you would have loved that. I mean, at least like type 2 fun, at least.
Maybe, I don't know. I talked to some of the people that were there, and I'm not sure it was even type 2 fun, but it was stories.
Yeah. So basic. So that event, we were launching the True Grit, and we made sure to do it in like the best time of the year. So it's like middle of July, when you have the best weather in Iceland, and you can like access the Highlands and all that. And we were like doing two things. We brought in like journalists, of course, to check out the bike. And then we also brought in some race directors for like the race director for Dirty Kansas at the time, Jim Cummins, and then race directors for Dirty Reaver in the UK. They came in as well. So to check out like what would then go on to become the Rift gravel race. So we were like trying out that route for the Rift, as well as launching the bike, basically both at the same time. But like at this event, I mean, you've done the Rift, it's super tough, and like at an event, it's too much. You wouldn't want to do, like, nobody would be able to speak.
It
like,
doesn't need to be any harder.
Yeah, exactly. So we split it up to 2 like days at the event, at the launch event. So like first day, riding up to the Highland, sort of, like the second day, like coming like back down, sort of ish. And it was amazing. So like the first day of the event, we were like blessed with like the best weather possible in the Highlands of Iceland. It was amazingly good. It was like clear skies, and we could like stop and put up a tent. We didn't even need to like anchor it down. It was like, it was no wind, and it was just like beautiful. Eating hot dog, chilling, like having a drink or two, and then keep on riding. But we were like, at that point, we were like checking out the weather forecast. We were like, damn, this is bad. Okay, it's getting bad. And then we were like telling journalists, okay, I mean, it's nice now, but I mean, tomorrow it's gonna be bad tomorrow. And they were like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Which they should realize, if somebody from Iceland that lives there is saying this is going to be bad, it's probably just going to be like a nightmare.
Yeah. So so we were trying to explain, like, they were like, we were like, guys, we're not sure you're getting it. It's gonna be like really, 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 really bad. Like, they were like, and then I remember Jim Cummins from Dirty Kansas was like, we got wind in Kansas. Like, I'm not sure you're not sure you're following here, but okay. Let's just see what happens. Then we finished that day, beautiful day. Went like barbecued and like had food and had fun, super nice. Slept in a cabin somewhere way up in the Highlands. And the morning after we woke up, and it's like, it wasn't too bad. We looked outside, it was like raining a little bit and some wind. It was like, okay. So we had our oatmeal and bacon, and then got on our bikes and started riding. But then like an hour into the ride or so, the weather just like, it became so bad. Just so bad. I remember at one point, so one of the moments I remember is that I was riding with Cody from Bike Rumor and Tom Marvin from Bike Radar. We were riding together, like 3 of us together, next to a lake. And we were like, it was windy. We're like, fuck, this is bad weather. Like, we like feel like the rain like hitting our face, and it was just like really bad.
It was like hard to stay straight. from what I heard,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you were fighting not being blown off the road.
And it was only like, I think it was like 50 kilometers or less, probably less, that we rode that day. It was not far, but it's just like the weather was so bad. And like at that point, we were like, yeah, weather was bad, and we're riding like next to this lake. And then we like looked to the side, and then like, shit. Like we looked, and we saw just like water coming up from the lake, and then just like going up into the sky. We were like, shit. Like that's about to hit us. And then we just like braced ourselves. Then the wind just like bam hit us. And we were walking the bikes at that point because it was too windy to ride. And then the bikes went up like, and they were like flags, or like we leaned into the wind and the bikes were like this. And we were like getting like rocks like this size were like hitting our helmets, and like rain was like stinging like through the jackets. It was like raining that hard on us.
How many people were in the group? Because you have follow cars going with you. And I think some people bailed on the ride and were in the cars by this point, right?
Yeah. Just immediately some guys were like, no, this is too much. Yeah. But like gradually, like you kept like picking riders out from the bunch, and like they were getting into the cars. I rode like most of it. I remember riding with Corey and Tom, and I think several times in this ride we just like blown off the road. Literally, it was just like riding this way, and then bam, we were just like 90 degrees to the side, just like facing the wrong way. And we're like, okay, good thing there wasn't a cliff here.
Yeah.
So it's just. And like seriously, like riding like down hills in first gear, like pushing, like maybe 10% slope down, but in first gear, just like grinding just to get forward. So obviously this was super bad. But then like fog was added into the mix as well. Like visibility went down to like nothing, sort of. And you were like up there in the Highland of Iceland, like in this weather, and it's like people die in this weather. It's just like it's super bad. It's nasty. So like one by one, people started getting into the cars. But I mean, we were launching a bike called the True Grit. I mean, I was like,
live up to that name.
I can't back out. I have to ride. So I kept riding, and like I remember at the end, me and Troy from it was riding for Road Bike Action at the time. It's not Velo News Cycling Tips. So he like we were the last two riding. So coming into that like final part, you cross a river that is actually in Icelandic. It's called the Impassable River. Ófæra is the name of the river in Icelandic. So impassable, sort of. So okay, we went over that. It was deep, and we would like carry the bike, and water was like way up on our So, but I mean, at that point,
it's freezing water.
You didn't care at this point. You were just like you're like a zombie, like in full on zombie mode, just like keep going. But okay, I mean, then all the cars, we had like 4 like Jeeps following us, and like they made it across the river and all good. Then like was a hill, like a climb, and then like a descent down to like the hut. It was like basically something that like dug into the ground, sort of rock/grass walls, sort of
like a refugio, basically, or somewhere out of the weather.
Somewhere out of the weather. So that was where we were staying. But I remember like coming down the descent. So the wind was so hard then, I couldn't really keep my eyes open. So because like it hurt so much when the rain just like landed on my eyes. It was just like it was like stinging my face. So I had to like ride with like mostly closed eyes, but then I just like blinked them, like open like super fast, just like a snapshot sort of what's coming up on the roads. Then we got into our lodging there, and like going through what has just happened, and like having a good time, drinking a beer, and then too. And also when you have like this like experience, the relief sort of like getting into house, it was so nice. But then we woke up the morning after, and the weather was beautiful, like no wind. It was sort of like it was still raining a lot, but it was calm at least. And then drove down to this impassable river again. Thing is, over the night, because of all the rainfall, over the night the water level had like gone like way up over the night. So we were like, okay, how do we? Only like one of our cars like follow vehicles, like side vehicles, was like on properly big tires. The others were like like 33 inch or 32 inch or something like that. So like for those cars, we were like opening up their hoods and modifying the air intake and do stuff so we wouldn't get water into it. So we did that, and then we were able to like get through the first part of the river. Then you go into like an island that is like in the middle of a river. So we got all the 4 Jeeps there, and all the riders and everybody. But then we realized, okay, fuck, the second part, that's way rougher. We thought it was going to be shallower and easier, but just like with how much the water level had risen, it was just like, it was so rough. We were like, the cars are not going to make this. We can't get past this. But I mean, maybe the biggest one, like that had like 35 or so inch tires, or like properly jacked up. So eventually we just like filled that car with people, cyclists, and at this point, I noticed, I won't say any names, but guys were like calling back home just to like talk to their wives. I'm in the middle of a river here somewhere in Iceland. You might not hear from me again. So I love you. So it's like that kind of. The biggest Jeep of them all was like, it was able to get across the second part and then like left those like riders there and then came back for the rest. And we like filled up like the truck bed and everything, just like to be able to like get them like fast over, because like water level was still rising. So like do it as fast as we could. So eventually, yeah, we got everyone across, but we had to leave the other 3 vehicles just like there in the middle of the river, sort of on that island, and they were like there for like a few days afterwards with all the like the new unreleased bikes on top, just like there in the middle of Highland of Iceland. So and it wasn't even done there. So yeah, we made it across with all riders, and then I remember like my dad like was like making a joke that like, yeah, it's good that nobody had a flight today. We would have missed that. Good that all your flights are tomorrow. As soon as he like said that, like ding, all the lights in the dashboard came on, and the car stopped.
Oh, jeez.
And we were like, okay, here we are, like middle of nowhere, sort of like the next cabin is like 10 miles away or something, like, and there are like no cars here. It's like there's nobody up in the Highlands because like the weather's so bad. We're like, okay, I guess we're walking. So we just walked from there down to like the closest cabin, which was like further down. And then once we were there, we're like, people were just like sort of like gathering the thoughts and just like
And I think the story I heard too is that as you guys get across the river and your dad's Jeep is one of the ones stuck on the island, he was joking about how he had ordered a snorkel for it, like leading to get ready for this, and it hadn't shown up in time. And as he's saying it, he gets the notification that, oh, hey, your snorkel was just delivered.
He gets like an SMS, like a message, like your snorkel has been delivered to your house. Like, okay, would have been nice to have that like a day earlier. So we end up in this hut there somewhere, and then we just like totally stranded, like no cars, nothing. Then we just start making calls like, hey mom, can you come and pick us up? Like we keep calling people we know, and like then we got some guys to drive in from Reykjavik and go pick us up. And I think like everyone was like just quiet. It's just like we would just like they were terrified. So I've like jokingly I've said that like if we wanna like ever like top what we did there, we'd actually have to kill someone. So this took it pretty far. So hopefully this event for the road bike that we're launching now won't be like quite as dramatic.
Right.
But
I hear you have some good roads planned, but the weather seems much more
it's
palatable.
so nice. Yeah. So it's like, it's funny, like when I like first started like riding around here, I was like, wow, Harrisonburg riding, this is nice. I mean, what are people talking about in Iceland? I mean, it's so nice here. But like, then the thing is, it's super nice riding here. It's amazing. But like this flavor that Iceland has is like, it's just like, it's so dramatic. It's just like the forces of nature, sort of like how rough it is and all that. So nothing I've seen like compares to that. Well, like, so yeah, I mean, but if you're an Icelander, you love riding elsewhere because it's so nice. Right. But if you're from somewhere else, you love going to Iceland and be like smacked smacked in the face a little bit and like
to
wake
experience
up.
that drama
Yeah.
and have that real sense of adventure and
Exactly. So the rift is that to people. It's like you never know what, like the gravel race we put on. You never know like what weather you're getting, and like I think all the times we've had that event, we pretty much have had all kinds of weather during the same event. Sort of like you start off like in beautiful weather, then you have like really shitty weather, and then you have like sunshine when you roll across the. It's like you always get like the whole spectrum. Sort of. It seems like.
Yeah.
So,
and I did for sure. Literally sunshine, sideways hail,
yeah,
sleet, snow,
yeah,
a little bit of snow, some freezing rain, and
Yeah.
then you finish kind of in the sunshine and roll across. They hand you a beer, and
yeah,
it was
exactly.
great. The year
Yeah.
I did it, I brought the family over, and my kids got roped into volunteering at the finish line. And so, at that time they're like, I don't know, I think like 8 and 11 or something, and they're the ones putting the medal over people's necks and handing them a beer. It was great. Yeah, it's such a fun time. I think that's that sort of character of growing up in that sort of environment and the freedom, it's just kind of like not laissez-faire, but just sort of like enjoying what nature has is sort of embedded in the spirit of Lauf.